Good morning, y'all. It's Friday. I am headed to the hospital right now to do this prison break on my husband. So, as you know, I've been fighting for his discharge, and it has been an uphill battle for 4 weeks. Today is the day that he goes. Due to the oxygen situation and the fact that the care managers are ill-equipped to help me set up the medical. Let me put my hood up so this hawk don't get around my neck. Hold on. The care managers at Sinai are ill-equipped to help me set up medical transport for him to go back to Arizona to receive care. I'm going to I am going to get him a hospital transfer today. Either the nurse care manager I talked to yesterday, who seemed very compassionate, either she is going to assist me with getting him an immediate transfer over to University of Maryland, because they have a rehabilitation program for stroke and TBI and things like that. So either she is going to assist me with that process, or I am going to sign Nick out today AMA, and I am going to call the police and say that he needs an ambulance so that he can get to the hospital because he's coughing up blood. And that's the truth. So we're going to see how this plays out. I really hope that I don't have to go, the guerrilla warfare route, but I will 100% do that on behalf of my baby to make sure that he can get to where he needs to go. Because I really just didn't like the conversation that I had with Dr. Alston yesterday. I didn't appreciate the fact that he dismissed my concerns about the fact that my husband is coughing up blood, and is not doing any treatment for it, is not even going to do any testing for it, and just wants to wait and see. You're not about to wait and see with my husband's life. Absolutely fucking not. And so I was like, well, y'all can't just, not treat him and then also hold him hostage here. He was like, we're not holding him hostage here. You can sign him out AMA if that's what you really want to do. Oh. Okay, you piece of shit. Well, yeah, we'll definitely do that. So, like I said, I'm going to talk to the nurse manager today, and hopefully we can do this the easy way, because the case manager supposedly had sent a referral to the University of Maryland Rehab Center a week ago anyway, on the 28th of December. Nobody ever followed up on the fucking referral. So, I'm going to see if we can just continue that process, and if they can send whatever paper they need to send today to get that done. And if not, because it's Friday, right? Like, every time these things happen, it'd be like Thursday or Friday, and then they be like, oh, we just need to wait till Monday. No, the fuck we're not. He doesn't have until Monday. So if they cannot facilitate this process timely, and I mean like within a couple hours of me getting here, I'm gonna go ahead and sign him out, and I'm gonna take him over to the ER and let them know, hey, my baby is not breathing well. He's coughing up blood out of his trach, like thick, dark blood out of his trach, and he needs help. He needs evaluation. He also needs to be evaluated for several open wounds, bed sores, all types of shit. Like, he needs evaluation, and Sinai is not doing it. So I'm going in the hospital right now. I'll keep y'all posted.
Hi, good morning. My name is Becca. I'm a speech and swallowing therapist. This is my colleague Lindsay. We're here to see if we can try getting speaking help. See what we can do. Can you turn your voice on? Say, So typically, without anything on the trach, he's breathing in and out through the trach. When we put that on, it's basically like he's doing half of the work. He's breathing into the trach but out through the mouth. Into the trach, out through the mouth. Typically when we're trying to progress someone to being able to be decannulated or have the trach removed, the goal is to move from not using a speaking valve at all to being able to wear a speaking valve during all waking hours. You're never allowed to fall asleep with a valve on. When you're able to do that, it can show signs that you're ready for what they call a plugging or a capping trial.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Which is where, again, with an open trach, you're 100% through the trach. With the speaking valve, you're kind of halfway. With the cap, you are 100% through the mouth, if not slightly worse, because he has the hardware for the trach in his airway, which we normally wouldn't have, plus you have that deflated puff, where he has that, what is called a pilot balloon, that has a deflated balloon inside of his throat that can inflate and deflate. So that's also causing a little bit of blockage, if you will. So our hope would be to move him progressively to being able to wear this at all times, making sure that he's not falling asleep with it on, having desaturations, or having respiratory distress. Sometimes patients can just pop it on and they really do well with it because there is no obstruction in the airway at all. Other times patients might wear it for a minute and then have an issue, or 45 minutes and then have an issue. So it's sometimes a balance of when do we feel comfortable that he is doing well with it. I know they are also at the same time are reading his oxygen. So we're looking at, is it the reading of, say if he had a desaturation or a distress, is that because he's wearing a valve, or is that because he has this change in his oxygenation? I know you know this, and this doesn't make it easier, but realistically, getting him to rehab where he's having constant rehab and daily intervention is key, because then you have your speech therapist there every single day, not to mention a PT, an OT. Like he's constantly
I've been working
in
on
this.
getting him out of
I
here
know
for
that.
4 damn weeks.
I know,
So,
and I say this is probably like a dagger to your heart, and I don't need to do that, but here, if how often are you, because you're in town now, so I'm assuming you're here at the hospital fairly frequently.
I'm here every day.
Every day. So that is helpful, because sometimes on this level, especially in this type of period, we really need someone to be present to help for if there is any change as we're bridging to longer hours, which in a rehab setting can be done really easily. In this setting can be very challenging. So right now, again, he's doing great in terms of maintaining oxygenation, maintaining respiratory rate, maintaining heart rate is stabilized, so that's great. Right now, earlier when we walked in, you were asking in terms of his voicing. He kind of has two things kind of working against him in terms of functional communication. One is just the physiologic hole in his throat that prevents air from reaching his vocal folds. That even if you and I, if we went to speak, we're not going to get a voice if we have a hole in our throat because there's no air reaching that mechanism. Now he has air reaching that mechanism, but we have the secondary component of the injury to the brain of him actually making the initiation to power that voice.
Okay, so here's the skinny. Of course, because I was on the warpath to bring my ass in here and snatch my baby out of here, now all of a sudden he has people coming in here, he has modalities. All of a sudden he doesn't have bloody cough at all. I don't know what they did last night, but all of a sudden that just resolved, and I'm still getting him out of cyanide, but now I have to figure out what I want to do next. I have to be a little bit more strategic about what I do next. So, because suddenly they're doing the things that I asked for them to fucking do. So, as you saw, speech pathology came in today. They evaluated him for a speech valve. which is the first step towards getting him decannulated. He did well with the trial. He had the speech valve on for an hour, and his oxygenation stayed up, between like 97 and 98%. He started to make some grunting sounds. He had a very strong cough, of course. The cough was coming up through his mouth instead of into the valve. And they were, suctioning his mouth or whatever. The only reason why they took him off of the valve at an hour is because he started to get sleepy. He's like a narcoleptic. Like, he'll be up for an hour or whatever, and then he'll just get tired, and he'll just drift off. But it's like a cat nap. He'll pop back up. He'll nap for like 5-10 minutes, he pop back up. But they said they don't want him to go to sleep on the valve. I don't know why, but in any way, she took the valve off, but she said he did so good, and they were very happy with his progress. So I asked her, I said, well, what is his order for speech therapy? And she kind of went around the question, hemmed and hawed, and talked to me about how they're short-staffed and how they only have one person that's going to be here during, over the weekend for the entire hospital. And, basically they'll be back to see him on Monday to evaluate him again. I'm like, it's Friday. He ain't gonna get no more, like, evaluations today, Saturday, Sunday. You might be back on Monday. She was like, yeah, it would be so much better if he was, at a rehabilitation center where he could get that intensive speech therapy and cognitive. And I'm like, yeah, it definitely would be better. Because once in a blue moon is not going to work. So basically what she was trying to explain to me as she was walking around Robin Hood's barn is he doesn't have an order. She said he's on our list of people who require speech therapy. However, we look at the list and we determine who we're going to see based on need and priority. Okay, so he doesn't have a standing order then. He's PRN whenever you can kind of get him in here. No, we're not doing that. He's nonverbal. He needs speech therapy every day. All right. Meanwhile, it is 12:30. I've been here since 9, of course. It's 12:30. PT and OT haven't come in yet at all. And they didn't come yesterday at all. And I'm pretty sure they don't come on weekends. So I'm pretty certain that he's not going to get PT and OT until next week either. So these are the reasons why I'm not leaving him at Sinai. I just got to figure out how to get him out of here and where he should go. So now, one of the things that the doctor had mentioned to me on yesterday is, the reason why I can't clear you to fly commercially is because if we take him off of oxygen, because he's on a level 5 oxygen right now, if we take him off of that flow, he's going to immediately desaturate and he could die. First of all, don't fearmonger me, because I already fucking know he doesn't need the oxygen. He never needed it. He's been fine for weeks. But anyway, like I said, y'all put him on that oxygen as a prophylactic, and then y'all just left it there and didn't make note that it was only prophylactic. But it's okay. So when I came in today, his oxygen was on a number 1. Now, this is after this man made this whole case yesterday about how they had to titrate him down from a 5 and then hopefully get him to a 2 in like 2 weeks. A week or 2 is what he said yesterday. However, somehow today, the decision was made, well, just go ahead and throw him on a 1. Just go ahead and throw him on a 1, the next day, and we're just going to see how it goes. He probably thought, see, that's what I'm talking about, how people don't really be about the care of your family member. He probably thought, I'm going to show her. I'm going to let her know that we tried it her way, and it didn't work. Except it did, though. He's been on a 1 all day with no problem. So I mentioned this to Respiratory when she went over there and cranked that shit back up. I said, yeah, he's been on a 1, he's been on a level 1 or 1 unit or whatever of oxygen or flow all day today without a problem. Speech came in. They even put a valve on him at a level 1, and everything was okay. So, hey.
Hi.
I'm just documenting our life. So, so what she said is that she's gonna put him on room air and take the flow of the air back up just to make sure he's getting enough humidity, you know, on the trach and everything. But in terms of actual oxygenation, he won't be on any oxygen. So I think that's it's a good day to do that and to see, you know, how he does on no oxygen at all with just the flow, so that we can see how quickly we can get him flued out. As long as he's not on any oxygen, we can fly commercial without a problem. So instead of yanking him today, because I need to see these things and I need to assess how he's doing, I'm not going to be impetuous today. I'm going to leave him here today only while we're doing this trial for the oxygen and everything. And then after I see how he's doing, whether he's doing well with not having any oxygen on, because I want to make sure that he's safe, at that point I'm going to sign him out AMA, and we are flying out of here. So you can see they took him off the oxygen altogether. These are his vitals. And he's just on the humidity right now. And he's just on the medical air. Just humidity. So that's it. But as you can see over here, the oxygen is not on. It's not on at all. It's just hung up. So, that's that. Yay! Your favorite gospel music, singing to you, praying for you, and just, you know, giving you my energy, rubbing on your arm, you know, just loving on you and just letting you know that I care and I love you. I hope that brings a smile to your face, knowing that, but also that I'm okay. I'm okay. And I just can't wait to be able to talk to you when you wake up, and continue to love you. And that's it. I love you. You want to watch the next one? The next one is Miles. Let me change it for you. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this leg of our journey, but it's not quite over yet. See y'all next time.